Hi everyone! Welcome back to my channel. I'm here today with a review of the Chinese drama Nothing But 30, 三十而已. This drama has been super popular in China recently, and I wanted to give a video to give an overview of the show and also to share some of my thoughts about the plots and the characters. Nothing But 30 is a modern drama starring 3 women living in Shanghai who are, you guessed it, 30 years old. I would describe it as kind of like the later seasons of Sex and the City, where the main characters are either getting married or getting into serious relationships. Except, unlike Sex and the City, there's barely any sex. I'm about halfway through this drama right now, and I have to say I'm actually really enjoying it. You can watch this drama with English subtitles right here on YouTube. Before we get into it, I want to say that if you like my content, please hit the subscribe button. Alright, let's get started. Nothing But 30 focuses on the romances, the family lives, and the careers of 3 women living in Shanghai. First, there's Wang Mani. She is a senior sales associate working at a high-end luxury boutique, kind of like an Hermes. Wang Mani didn't grow up in Shanghai, so she doesn't own a home in Shanghai, and every month she has to pay rent that's almost as much as half of her salary. However, she loves the glitz and glamour of the city, and she wants to stay in Shanghai and make it her home. She's single, and soon it becomes apparent that she's looking for the perfect guy that has it all. Looks, charms, and money. The kind of money that can give her the kind of comfortable life that she wants in Shanghai. The second main character is Gujia. When Gujia first appears, you think she's one of those super moms that does an amazing job running everything around the house, kind of like Bree from Desperate Housewives. Soon you realize though that she is not a super mom, she is a superhuman. Her and her husband started a fireworks company years ago, and after that company took off, she left her husband to be the CEO while retreating to behind the scenes to be a stay-at-home mom, but all the while being a kind of de facto COO for the company. She still takes care of her 4-year-old son and does an amazing job running the household. And she steps in whenever the company needs difficult decisions to be made or difficult conversations to be had with clients. And the final main character is Jung Chin. I would say that she's the most normal out of the 3. She leads a pretty average life. She has an office job, she's not particularly ambitious, she's been married 3 years to her husband, and they live a pretty uneventful life. In the evenings, she watches Chinese dramas while he takes care of his pet fish. Her and her husband do not really have great communication skills with one another, and an unexpected pregnancy brings out a lot of tensions between her and her husband that have been simmering under the surface. So here's what I like about the show based on the approximately 22 episodes that I've seen so far. This video will contain spoilers for the first 22 episodes. It's actually really hard to avoid spoilers for the show because there are so many comments on the internet, including in YouTube comments, that talk about future plot developments. I think one of the main reasons to like this show is that unlike some other Chinese modern dramas, this drama feels authentic and makes you believe that these characters could be real. Even if you haven't experienced what these women experience, you can believe that there are women living these lives out there. In particular, Wang Mani and Jung Chin live in the kinds of apartments that you would think that non-millionaires would actually live in, not like in Love Designer where every single person lived in a mansion. Also, the main characters aren't perfect. Wang Mani in particular has been revealed to be materialistic and even slightly gold-digging. Jung Chin can be immature and childish at times, and even Gujia, the superhuman, she has her own flaws because whenever she decides something that she wants for the company and for the family, she goes ahead and demands that it be done without really listening to her husband's thoughts or feelings. For the rest of the video, I wanted to share my thoughts on 3 plot points, one with respect to each of the main characters. As I said before, this video will contain spoilers up to episode 22 of the drama. The first thing that I wanted to chat about is Wang Mani and the rich boyfriend that she meets on a cruise ship. So as I said before, Wang Mani is single, and just like Carrie Bradshaw, she is looking for love. Not just any kind of love though. The kind of love that will give her the material comforts that her own career can't bring her. In fact, in a flashback, she's seen dumping a boyfriend on the spot after it's revealed that his credit card limit isn't high enough to buy her all the jewelry that she wants him to buy. So Wang Mani goes on a cruise by herself, and she eats in the restaurants and drinks in the bars that are reserved for first-class passengers, even though she doesn't have a first-class ticket. So one day she's drinking at a bar, and a guy comes along and tells some pretentious story about the whiskey that she's drinking. And then he goes on to comment that he can tell she's not from first class because she has protective soles on her designer shoes, and apparently no one in first class would do that. By the way, I think that's a load of total crap, but anyways, let's continue. So for some reason, she's not offended by this comment, and they proceed to have a series of flirtatious encounters on the ship, which more or less consists of him showing her how influential and wealthy and worldly he is, and her becoming increasingly impressed. She doesn't sleep with him on the cruise, and when the ship docks, she leaves him hanging and tells him that whatever happened on the ship should stay on the ship. Of course, her refusal just makes him all the more interested, and he comes to Shanghai and finds her at the boutique where she works. He buys a ton of expensive stuff from her, and then, in a total sleazeball power move, he gives her his hotel room keycard. She is so moved by the fact that he came all the way to Shanghai to find her that she rushes into his hotel room and into his bed. Although it should be clear by now that I'm not a fan of this guy or the relationship, I want to make it clear that I'm not slut-shaming her. The problem is not that she slept with him. She can have all the one-night stands that she wants. What I find most annoying about this whole situation is that the guy knows he has exactly what she wants: money and influence. As their relationship continues, he's reluctant to give her the girlfriend label, but she sticks around because he buys her a nice new car and takes her to fancy restaurants and fancy events and exotic trips like diving in Vanuatu. When she finally gets the girlfriend label that she wants, he then proceeds to tell her that he doesn't believe in marriage and that she shouldn't expect anything. By now, she has serious feelings for him, so you would have thought that this was a red light and maybe a sign to bail on the relationship. But instead, she says something like, oh, maybe one day he'll change his mind and then I want to be by his side when that happens. So in episode 22, it's just been revealed that he has multiple girlfriends, one in every city, and then a main longtime girlfriend that lives with him in Hong Kong. So I think it's safe to say that this relationship probably isn't going to end well. While I'm sympathetic to a woman that believes a man's lies because she loves the man, I'm not as sympathetic to a woman who literally doesn't listen to the words that are coming out of the man's mouth, which are, I don't believe in marriage and don't expect anything from me. Especially when that woman is sticking around because she's enjoying all of the material benefits that he's providing her. I guess I can say that I'm not super impressed with Wang Mani at the moment, and I'm interested to see where the show is going to take her storyline. I suspect that her character is going to experience some kind of redemption, so I guess we'll have to see. The next plot point that I wanted to talk about is Gu Jia's marriage. It's clear from the beginning that out of her and her husband, Gu Jia is the more experienced and mature business person. She is the one that gets on the phone to talk to difficult clients and makes the big decisions for the company without letting her pride get in the way. Her husband seems really appreciative for everything she does for the family, and they seem to have a solid relationship, one that is more skewed towards her taking care of him versus him taking care of her. Now, it's almost a universal truth in Chinese dramas that if a couple is married at the beginning of the drama, then the husband is going to cheat on the wife. And Gu Jia and her husband are no exception to this rule. Where I'm at in the show, the cheating hasn't officially started yet, but the other woman has already appeared. She's a perky, cute 22-year-old who works at the theme park where he has his fireworks displays. Now, judging on the relationship between Gu Jia and her husband, I don't know if this affair is going to be something serious to the extent that he'll want to leave Gu Jia for the other girl. So it's not really clear to me why he would want to cheat on Gu Jia, because their relationship seems too strong for him to just give in to temptation, to the first cute girl that comes along. I don't know if the show is going to make some kind of point about him feeling emasculated by Gu Jia or feeling, too much in her shadow. I'm not really sure. But I would be surprised if Gu Jia's husband eventually wanted to leave the family. So I'm guessing eventually it's going to be up to Gu Jia to decide whether she wants to forgive him for his affair. Now, I've seen Chinese dramas before where the wife basically takes back cheating husbands without any consequence to the husbands at all, and I really hope that's not how this goes down. We've seen that Gu Jia can be very aggressive and very vindictive when she wants to be, so I don't think she'll let him off that easily, but I guess we'll have to see. Lastly, I wanted to say a few words about Jung Chin and her husband. Before the surprise pregnancy, Jung Chin was someone who didn't really think about what she wanted in life and just kind of went through life living day to day, watching her Chinese dramas. The surprise pregnancy, and from the first time that she heard the baby's heartbeat, was the first time she really felt like she really wanted something. She wanted to be the mother to this baby that was growing inside her belly. So it's a terrible tragedy when at the next checkup she finds out that she's had a miscarriage, and the negative emotions that this causes eventually lead to the breakdown of her marriage. Now, I strongly suspect that her and her husband are going to work through their issues and get back together. But what I hope to see and where I think the show is going is that in the process, Jung Chin is going to find something of herself, I guess. He's going to discover what is it that makes her passionate and, you know, what she should be really getting out of life. So I'm looking forward to her and her husband getting back together and Jung Chin's personal development. So on that note, I'm going to wrap up for today. I would like to do another video after I've watched the entire drama to give my thoughts on how I thought the show wrapped up the storylines for each of the female leads. So please watch out for that one. All right, that's it for today, guys. See you all next time.